Hey guys, and welcome to the stream. Actually, I'm going to start calling you guys Model Maniacs since we're all on the, or most of us are on the Model Maniac Discord. So I saw the pictures you're posting on the Discord. That is pretty cool there, Todd. Very nice. And I was going to ask a silly question, but I can see from the picture that it's actually going to fit because the top braces are far enough down. So let me roll up to the top of the chat and greet everybody. Welcome, Donnie. Welcome, Todd. Let's see. Eric popped in. Welcome to the stream, Eric. And GB, I saw you just popped in. I think Shu should be on here sometime tonight too. I know that he's traveling. He's in where did he say? He said it in the Discord. He's in Hayes, Kansas tonight. So he's about 4 to 6 hours away from me right now. But speaking of which, I drive to Oklahoma City tomorrow, and I just wanted to wish all of my all the veterans, regardless of what service, regardless of what country, GB, in case you were in the service over there. Raise my glass to you guys. Thank you for what you do. I'm really appreciative, especially on a day like today when we're remembering those who did not make it home. All right, so that's enough somberness. I may not be on a whole... I plan on being on at least the regular 2 hours, but I may not make it because today my left knee is bugging me a little bit, and I got to drive for about 7.5 hours tomorrow. So, says it in the description, says it in the title. Working on the Enterprise again. I'm sure Donnie's happy about that tonight. And Wednesday's stream at this point is probably canceled. It may not be. It depends. I may bring a 2 seconds. 2 seconds till what? 2 towels. I have 2 towels. See? One here. One here. Oh, 2 towels, 2 seconds. I got it. But no, since I'm driving cross country, maybe not bringing the Enterprise with me. I am bringing something to keep me occupied, and I may bring a mount for the phone so I can stream through the phone. I don't know if you can see it. There's my wife's laptop doing updates to Windows. That laptop's about 10 to 15 years old. Every time I go somewhere, I take it with me, but the first thing I do is install about 8 to 10 hours of updates to it. It works. It's good enough for the internet. I don't think it's good enough to run anything else, although I have had Discord on it. I don't know if it would run OBS, but I do have the phone and the capability of streaming straight to Facebook or to YouTube these days. So let me switch cameras and we'll get at it. And there's the mouse. I don't know if you guys can see, all the shades are drawn in here tonight. I've started drawing. I drew them all earlier today because it's, let's see, it's 85 outside, and what happens when it gets warm in here, or when it gets warm outside, is this room, being a sunroom, sucks in the heat and it gets really hot. Fortunately, it's only 78 degrees right now, and I've got, let's see, don't have the ceiling fan going. I've got 2 fans going and a dehumidifier to bring the humidity down in here. So let me flip over to here. And so if you guys remember last Wednesday, I didn't do the last one. I had 4 of them. I think it was 4. It was either 4 or 5 prepped and ready to go, and I didn't get to this one. I have not yet put the... Where'd it go? There it is. I haven't yet put the needle tip on here. And I did check. This is still a viable needle, and if it does eventually stop working, I still have 50 of this size. I bought the 300 pack, 50 of 6 different sizes. So, cheaters need cheaters. And for anybody who's new, where Todd said 2 seconds, 2 towels, UV light, all of that is about making sure that I do this right. Because the 2 seconds is 2 seconds on the outside, a couple of quick short blasts to harden the resin from the outside, then do it from the inside. 2 towels, one to wipe stuff on, the other one is to cover a light that I'm going to use to help me find any bubbles that are left in the resin. So, I'm going to do like I started doing last week. I was doing the whole panel at once. Now instead what I'm doing is I'm going to do 1 row and harden it, and then do the next row. Todd didn't forgot about reminding me about that one. Make sure you wipe the first bit of the resin that comes out of the tip, you want to wipe off on a paper towel so that if you get foam, which sometimes happens, you haven't just filled your window with foam. Tonight it's being a pain in the behind because I have got a bubble in every window at this point. There we go, finally got one without a bubble. I mean, I do get the microscopic bubbles regardless of what I do, but they're small enough that you can't really see them from the outside unless you're really looking. Now he tells me. Wipe 2 bubbles off. 2 plus 2 plus 2. You get a hot water bath. It's like heating the resin after pouring, helps bubbles come out. Well, it's kind of too late to get a hot water bath now. Should have told me that before this stream started, Todd. That's okay. Move that screwdriver out of the way. Of course, the light does absolutely no good if I don't first throw it into the camera. So there is still one little bubble towards the surface. It looks like there's actually something on the outside of the tape. There's 2 bubbles in here. Got that one. And I saw that Eric was doing some can't do everything. Sure you can, Todd. And hopefully that print is going okay. I saw that Eric actually got some work done on the Bismarck. I hate to say it, but I spent this entire 4-day weekend not doing much of anything at all. Although Saturday, I did go for a 5-mile walk in the front yard and the backyard and did the lawn. It looks fantastic until the white flowers from the clover start popping up. Hopefully my wife and grandson will get a little bit done on the rock beds while I'm gone this week, because we've got weeds popping up in them. But if not, it just means that next Saturday I will be crawling around on the rocks for about 2 to 3 hours on each bed, which isn't that bad. 1 hour, so far so good. Learned a lot about prim supports today. 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's part of the thing, I have not and don't expect that I will ever get into 3D printing. If I ever do, it will be filament at first. I don't think I need to get into 3D printing because of the amount of stuff that I already have. What I might do is start buying some things 3D. That really, really looks. Nope, that one's inside. Now I got a hair on here. Got rid of it. Some of these bubbles are actually looking like they're on the other side of the tape. Stir every window, no big bubbles. I don't have any big bubbles per se. I just have 1 or 2 little bubbles in every window right now. That one just went from 2 to 3. But now they're flowing off the top of the window. So let me turn this around and look at it from the other side. From this side, it looks good. Go back. I see some hair on the tape because I left this tape on since last week. Yeah, and I can't have hairy windows. No, can't. Well, fortunately, the hair is all on the tape up here, nothing down into the windows. One last bubble there. One right here. There's one left here. And I have been putting the tip all the way down. At least I mean to. Is this? Ah, yes. There. It was on motion sensor, which always drives me nuts. Okay. So here's what Todd was talking about with the 2 seconds. Do about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. Turn it off. Stay. Take the cheaters back off. Turn the light off on them. Yep. Wait 15 minutes, then 2 more seconds. Got it. I'm joking, Todd. Can feel just a slight change in temperature. Yep. I'm gonna finish them off. Kill them. Oh, sorry. Yep. I don't. You know, I'm a slow learner. You don't. I learn eventually, though. And actually, on this side, what I tend to do is I do a little bit more than 30 seconds, because that way I want to make sure it's cured. And then I'll hit it with the dental pick. And I changed the batteries out on the other. I've got a second one of these flashlights that's exactly the same as this one. Change the batteries out on it to make sure that if I need it, it's ready. Yeah, these are nice and cool on the other side. And let me just double check. Nothing liquid in there. I just thought about something though. Ow! Just nailed myself with the needle tip there. I think there was a little bit of resin still on the tip of the dental pick because it felt a little bit slick. I can believe that. Yeah, there was a little bit of uncured resin on the tip of the dental pick. And hopefully I won't have anything like I had happen last week where I had completely empty spot underneath resin. You left, Eric? Nobody noticed. Did you tell anybody you were leaving? Oops. Didn't squeeze there, Todd, so I'm okay. Think connects. Don't know if you guys saw it, but OBS just told me that it disconnected and reconnected. Hopefully OBS, yeah, it did. Just paused the stream, did it again. OBS disconnected. Sorry about that, guys. I do not know what is going on with OBS right now. That light is almost too bright. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's just OBS because I haven't had any problem with the internet all day today. This one is actually looking really, really good. Ah. Good idea, Todd. What doesn't help is the batteries are fresh on this thing, and it is a bright light. This actually is the worst panel I have right now because there is some tulip a little bit on the outside that so what I said after OBS disconnected was there was a hole in one of the windows when I did this one the first time using the other resin. Hopefully OBS will stop doing this. Yeah, I know. Every time, Todd, every time it disconnects, it tells me. Damn it. Sometimes I have to go through everything to get it to turn off. And of course, since I even when the internet disconnects, the only problem with StreamYard is that it's only 20 hours a week or a month, and 8 of those are going to be used on Fridays, at least 8 or more. So that would drop me down to 8 or 6, 12, which would really cut me down to doing only one stream a week outside of the Friday stream. Might do that and instead do a no, actually I can't stream directly to YouTube, I don't think. I've never tried, to be honest. You know, I want to say that some of those neat tricks are I'm about 800 subscribers away from. Some things you need 1,000 subscribers to be able to do. Yeah, I can stream direct off of my cell phone. I used to use the cell phone for OBS. Maybe. Look at you guys. I get comfortable and you guys are like, do more. Might. Just for good measure, let me wipe off this dental pick and cure it so it stops, so I don't end up with any liquid resin on it again. Let me feel. Actually, it's nothing liquid on there. It just looks like it when I run the pick over it. Optical illusion. Because if there's any liquid, this would be liquid right here. So, back on with the cheaters. That. I'm trying something a little bit different. I'm putting the needle down and I'm actually running it back and forth across the tape. I was gonna say it looks like it's doing pretty good to eliminate bubbles, but I just had a big one show up in that fourth to last window. Hey Mark, welcome. Thank you. It's slow and steady, but it's getting there. So there's one right there. And we'll actually see how well this looks once I take the tape off. They usually come out looking really, really good. That wasn't a bad size bubble there. It was big comparatively speaking. And there's one here. Eric's spending most of the day looking for cheap airfare. Well, you know, it's not so bad. He's just trying to tell you, come out and visit. As long as he doesn't say, come up and see me sometime, and then starts calling you Mr. President. And for anybody who is not old enough to pick up on that reference, it's a reference to Marilyn Monroe and JFK. Oh, come on. See, that's the thing too, Mark, is Eric likes you because he never mentions airfare to me. He says drive. He'll look for airfare for you so you can get there in comfort. Me, on the other hand, he wants to drive for 12 hours. Wow. Stared in that light too long. Bright spot in my eyes. Well, there's that. And said, hey, you're coming from the East Coast. Stop through St. Louis on the way. You know, I'm doing the back side again, and I should be doing this side. Oh, I'm sitting here looking at my OBS, and I'm like, okay, video capture device, that makes sense. Yeti Nano, that makes sense. The heck is Goofy? And then I just realized, Goofy is right here. My logo here in the corner. That's what happens when you set up the scenes, and it's been a long time since you actually look to see what's in them. Okay. Pick is dry. Make sure these are all dry or cured. I'm going to go back real quick and check the other ones that I did before. Okay. Now here's the moment of truth. So far, so good. It would be lovely if it would peel some of the, and actually, I think it is. I think that at least part of the tulip that was on the outside of this panel has come off onto the tape. Yeah, maybe not. I wonder if this paint is good enough to do what I did earlier today. I accidentally got some paint in an area that I didn't want to on a model. How long was it take? A week. But you can see here, that's tulip right there. Well, doesn't look like it did anything bad. Wow. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I got a hull breach right there, right in that window right there. It's a hole. So let me get a piece of tape and put some more resin in there. But I do have to say, even the micro holes are very, very small. They're smaller than the regular. Yeah. Right there. You can see right through there. I put resin in there. Yeah. Either way, I need to. There it is. That was that one. Sitting here looking right through it. It's actually more visible from the outside than it is from the in. I know. It's exactly what I'm doing. Get a little bit of tape, put it over top that hole, and go from there. Yeah, that's what. So that's Deanna's quarters, huh? Good to know. Of course, if you remember that episode, he did more. That being did more than impregnate her. That being was impregnated her, was born. Formed the baby, grew up, and died. All in that episode. Don't think. Try not to stare directly into the light this time. Yeah, there's no bubbles. Okay. Yeah, I could do it, make it Wednesday's room. And I agree, Mark, except for if I just left it, somebody would notice. my wife loves my models, but if she finds a little defect like that, she will point it out to me and say, you should fix that. Everything looks great, but you should fix that. So if I do stream on Wednesday from my phone, it's probably going to be using or building nobody ever visits you. My wife visits me. She's the only other one that would ever see it. But if I do stream on Wednesday, it's going to be one of the Bandai kits I picked up. Either the Mandalorian or the Boba Fett. Okay. This is where Todd is going to say you never checked to see if it was dry or cured. I didn't pick it, I know. And actually, because I know it's there, I can see where the hole was. But beautiful. So that makes like, I don't know, a dozen out of hundreds and thousands of these things. Thanks, Mark. So now let me get this reflector off. Once it's on this, you're right, except for I bet I can, simply because that one is the one that has the tulip a little bit on the outside. And so I'll always know where that panel is. That's true. And actually, I know everything that's wrong with my Millennium Falcon. I know everything that's wrong with my X-Wing. I know everything that's wrong with my DeLorean. And I love them all anyway. They look awesome. What is holding this on? It's not the tape, I don't think. Okay, so that can go back in here because I don't need it. I should be able to work around these screws. I do have to say though, because you know, you brought it up earlier, Todd, I am kicking around the idea. I do like the way StreamYard works. I might decide to start doing everything off of StreamYard. It's just that if I do, then I have to come up with something else or maybe lose a couple of streams. Or if not lose them, then adjust the length. Because when I first started streaming, I was like, in hours, wow, that's awesome. And I think for the last 6-8 months, I hit 2 hours on almost every stream. Just seems like a good number. I know a lot of people only do an hour at most. Like most of Wayne's on World of Wayne, he does an hour and maybe just a hair over. Looking for something, a tool I was using today. There we go. There. My burnishing tool. I see a bubble right there on the surface of the ship. Oh, wow. Damn it. Definitely going to have to do some repainting because I just peeled some paint. Yeah. The only problem with anything on StreamYards is going to burn up time. But yeah, definitely going to have to do some touch-ups on the paint. Okay, that's just, there's a little bit of resin from the other resin right there. But it shouldn't, it's not blocking the window at all. And I'm going to do this one window here along with this row. That should be good. I'm learning. Put the towel over. Oh, I hit the wrong button is why. Both buttons will turn it on. The one that I hit turns on the motion sensor. I usually don't use the motion sensor at all for the light. It's one of these things if you put it on your head and then you wave your hand next to it to turn it on, but the problem is a couple of times I've tried to do that, it ends up turning off every time I do anything. Don't you slide back down in there. Bunch of little bitty ones right here. Because of where the screw is, that one that's on the one end, I need to take from the other end. Turn this around. Check that one. Just a little bit of one right there. See if we can, got one. Of course, I looked right in the light again. Let's see, messages coming in on the phone. Apparently, one of the Discords I've recently joined wants me to pick up a role on his Discord. Considering it's one that only has like 44 members right now, which is a lot more than I've got. Speaking of which, if anybody who is not a member of my Discord would like to join, there should be a link in the description. It was kind of closed before, but I've opened it up pretty much to anybody. And, you know, my biggest thing is you be respectful of each other on the channel. And no adolescent crap like there was on a channel I was on before. So, you guys are quiet tonight. I'm looking and it's dropped. Okay. It looked for a minute there like the stream had died without telling me. But yeah, it's still going. Cool. By the way, you know, if Shu watches, you need to follow the advice that Todd has given me, and you know that I'm doing on this, because it really is working really well on how this I'm doing these windows. Thinking about how to write your Bluetooth article. You mean on how? Oh, on how to run your enterprise on Bluetooth? I just like mine to just come on, just publish my playing with the audio with Arduino article. Cool. Spence should read that. But no, most of my models, I just, you know, as long as they turn on and light up, I'm happy. Oh, they can separate and still be in sync with each other. That is cool. That is really cool. Control the entire thing from your phone. Only problem is, Donnie, he hasn't written it yet. That's what he's saying. But I'm sure it will be on his regular I don't want to say channel, internet page. That is really cool. That's cool. So Todd, I know you've posted multiple times. If you don't have the, yeah, you wrote the audio one. If you don't have the link, Donnie, just say so on the Discord page. I'm sure Todd would be willing to post on the page again a link to his stuff. Or let me see. I have entirely too many pages. Yeah, I was going to see if I could find it, but not during the stream. Done. Yeah, Todd, you are now a moderator because I don't think you're going to do anything silly. Yeah. You're blue now because you're a moderator. Eric's blue because he's in Bismarck. And it's cold there. Had a spot there that didn't have any resin in it. It probably did, it just looked like it might not. Cold enough to see your breath. Good Lord, Eric, why is it cold there? I mean, it's still 80 degrees outside here. Small one right there. Move that one up to the top and get it out. And you are right, Todd. I am getting better at this. Because actually, I'm down to almost only the really micro bubbles. So just out of curiosity, because I used to live in Phoenix, where in Phoenix do you live? Are you actually Phoenix, or Glendale, or Mesa? Exactly. That's why most of us don't live in Bismarck. That's why most of us don't even want to visit Bismarck. I do have to say, I drove through there one time. It was the middle of the polar vortex. The wind chill was like 100 below. People who, unlike us, we were people who were moving but didn't have to be somewhere at a specific time, stayed extra days. In Phoenix proper, okay. I used to live out by Luke Air Force Base. It was actually kind of funny because we bought a house when we were there. And when we moved on to base housing, you could see the street light that was on my roof. It was kind of funny. You can see, I literally moved maybe 1,000 yards. But it was still like a 10-minute drive because of following the streets. And we did for a short while live in El Mirage. Living in El Mirage is why we bought a house. not somewhere I ever want to live again. So at the speed I'm doing these windows, it looks like I'm probably going to get 4 panels done. Well, that's a neat trick. Just looked down and saw that I'm missing that escape pod. I'm just looking to see which one I want to do next after the last row of windows on this one. I think this one, so I will start taking the reflector off of it. More than start, I will take the reflector off of it while I let this one cool down from one last cure shot. Kind of wanted to retire to Phoenix. I liked the weather there. But my wife really doesn't like hot. She wanted snow. I have to be quiet. She wanted snow when we retired. It is really hot there, but you get used to it. And you just never go outside when the sun's up. Kind of like back in '73 when I was about 7 or 8. My parents decided to move to Alaska without consulting me first. I lived there for a lot of years. And when I got old enough, 40 plus, time to move to the Pacific Northwest. It's not a bad area. I was born there. Born in Forest Grove, Oregon. But I ended up in the Midwest. Okay, let me double check. I didn't check these earlier. Yeah, those are better cured than the others were feeling earlier. I think what it was I didn't have quite as much resin as I did doing these. And actually, if we move, we will probably, because my wife has been thinking about it, and I wouldn't be completely adverse to it. My son moved to Juneau, Alaska, and my wife likes the idea now of moving to Alaska. Don't like the idea of Juneau, and I'm not completely adverse to it, except for Juneau does things like have no sun and rain for like a month straight. I want to say, if I remember right, Juneau gets rain 300 days out of the year. But it is, and this is what grabs her, it is very pretty there. I swear, that Samoyed leaks hair all the time. Most of these hairs are from that dog. My grandson owns a Samoyed, which is, I think it's Russian for big ball of fluff. Flat, beige, dusty, hot, straight roads, tiled roofs, and gravel. Hilly mountains, green, temperate, cool, curvy roads, colorful houses, grass, trees, moss. Yes, indeed, to both. But there are some things about the Pacific Northwest, like it does rain a bit there. One thing, if you head up that direction, in Hillsboro, and he's still there, I've checked, there's actually a website for Harvey, the 50-foot rabbit at what used to be Harvey's Marina. He has been there since before I was born. Yeah, but in Phoenix you have the monsoon, where you get 3 weeks of rain in 15 minutes. When we moved to Phoenix in 96, there was a 5-state, well, actually before there was the 5-state power outage, there was a power outage that took most, yeah. There was a power outage that took most of Phoenix out of power for like 7 days. Some people, we were out for 5. And then immediately following that 7 days, people were finally getting power on, and then there was a 5-state power outage, which took some people, by the time they got everything fixed, some people in Phoenix were out of power for 3 weeks. I just remember when that was going on, we went and hung out at the malls a lot because the mall had air conditioning. And we also were rudely awakened to this thing called an electric bill, because we had lived in housing in Germany, and when we moved to Phoenix, we moved into the apartments in El Mirage, and we were like, man, it's hot. We set the air conditioning to 72, and 2 weeks later got a $250 electric bill and set the air conditioning to 80. We lived in Phoenix from 96 to 99. Matter of fact, it was July 3rd, 1996 that we arrived there. It was kind of funny because I got there on the July 3rd and I had we left Germany and it was like 65 degrees and it was hot. And 3 weeks after I got to Phoenix, I spent about 7 hours on the backbone of an F-16 when it was 120 degrees on the ramp. People that had been there, that knew we had just gotten there were like, how are you handling that? I said, I just am. I mean, this is the size that I keep for water, tea, whatever, all the time. And that started in Phoenix. Oh, and by the way, Donnie, you would like this. This is watermelon Mountain Dew. I'm drinking dew. Although, I will say, when we first moved to Alaska, I was all of like 9 and had never sunburned before. And after the first winter, I had spent all winter inside, hadn't seen the sun, blah, blah, blah. First sunny day, I went out and I was the regular 8-9-year-old kid. I was just running all over the place, having a great old time. From what my parents said, I got my first sunburn ever. No, I did. This was 3 separate times. But I spent the rest of the summer not going outside, from what they said, because I had gotten sunburned. I was doing it before. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to do a touch-up on the paint on this one. Wow. That is terrible. Let me see. At least the windows look good. That's terrible. Windows look really good. This is the one that I saw the bubble on, and when I pulled it up, it was like, ah. So. I've got the paint that you recommended in my cart at Amazon. Although, do you have, you got the gray, do you have the green? Because, yeah, those spots are going to stand out something fierce. So, you would think, because I really didn't pull that off that fast, but you would think that the paint would be a little bit better sealed. So let me copy that. Pop it into Amazon. And of course, Blue Green, hang on. Model Air 71, no, 17. I'll have to look it up later. I don't see it right now on Amazon. Keeps coming up with these huge sets. Ah. Okay, I appreciate that. And $2.99 is not bad. Until you look at the $4.32 in shipping. which is why I switched over to the other paint for the. Wait a minute. Yeah, I screwed that up. I switched over the other paint for the panels for the Queen Mary 2. For the window panels. Now let me see if I can get my YouTube stream back up here. I grabbed the wrong window when I resized windows. There. Vallejo Air. Okay. Yeah, I haven't used them a lot, but with these, they're going to have to be brush painted because trying to airbrush around these windows is going to suck out loud. Okay, I am going to try a whole panel just because. Speed this up just a hair. And just see how, if my hand will put up with holding the bottle tight for that long. That one didn't. All the resin came out with the tip. I'm getting buildup on the tip of the needle applicator. And what's happening is it's not curing on there. What it's doing is that when I'm lifting up the needle applicator, it's taking most of it with it. So I'm having to go back in. What's going to be fun is when I'm going back to paint some of these windows black. Yeah, I've got the Citadel Admin Gray in my cart at Amazon. Evening, Tom. Welcome to the stream. Might have to look into that, although right now I do have Tulip Slick. That's what I've been using before. Although on the other hand, probably the Slick would take longer to dry than those other ones. Okay. And so what I've been doing all night tonight, Tom, is doing these little bitty windows. I throw some resin in here, and then I hunt around with a dental pick after microscopic bubbles. But let me show you what this is. What the panels come out. Nah, not that one. That one's paint needs to be redone on that one. But this is what the panels come out like. The windows. It's like there's actual glass in there. Yes, tons of fun. And this is the third panel tonight in, what is it, 7/17. So it's looking like it's going to be, for 3 panels, 90 minutes. But the results are well worth it. Compared to the little plastic windows that came with the kit. Yeah. That it does. I've used the dental acrylic before. And this stuff really cures pretty nicely with the UV light. In case you're curious, it's Solarez that I'm using. Solarez Thin. What is it? Thin Hard, I think it is. Yeah, Thin Hard. Those 2 bubbles came out really nice. Right now, and like I said, what I'm doing right now is pulling out micro bubbles. They're not quite microscopic, but they're big enough that you're going to see them once you cure the resin. Because, of course, they're down where the tape is, and so they're right on the surface, and you end up with micro pits on the surface of the windows. Yeah, that's better. Maybe pulling them towards me instead. And actually Todd, who is Marvel Phoenix, spends more time, from what he said, on these things, on these bubbles, than I do. But his ship, when he's done with it, I think is going to fly, actually. Have you figured out the warp engines yet, Todd? It does. Of course, there's sometimes, like I had happen earlier, I picked bubbles so much that I picked all the resin out. I had to go back and fill one of the windows back up. Sorry, I get concentrating. Micro bubble, yes, indeed. Micro bubble by Microsol. Additive for any resin that you're doing so that you can have bubbles to pick out. Some of them just come out so nice. And then others turn into 2 bubbles and then 3 bubbles. I just realized it may not have been a bright idea to have this screw right here in there while I'm doing this. I don't think it's going to keep me from unscrewing it, but hopefully the resin isn't going to over tighten that screw to where it's a pain in the ass to get in and out. One or two more. should be good. Okay, 2-second shot on the whole thing. What this does, Tom, since I don't think I've seen you on the stream here before. You may have seen it on Todd's stuff. What I do is, based on what he's taught me, is I do 2 seconds ish on the outside, which starts to cure the resin. Then I'll do another couple of seconds. Been here a few times. Okay, so you know what's going on. Well, anybody who hasn't been here, anybody who's new, watching after the fact, you do the couple of seconds on the resin from the outside to form a hardened layer. Do another couple of seconds on the outside to do it a little bit, harden it a little bit more. That should form a good skin. I am not wearing the goofy hat actually, but it should form a good skin on the outside of the resin so that when I do the other side, all the shrinkage occurs on the inside of the panel. I don't know where it went, but I just pulled one of these. My grandson's, what's going on is the inner. Exactly. Just pulled one of the Samoyed's hairs, and the problem with the Samoyed's hair, oh, there it is. It's actually still on my finger, or it was. This dog's hair is just really kinky, so that a piece this long, when you stretch it out, is about like 6 to 8 inches long. Okay, let's hit the other side for 30-ish seconds. After this is cured, I see 2 windows that it appears that I pulled everything out of, or enough that they need resin. Because it looks like if I peel the tape, 2 of them are not going to have anything in them. Another damn hair. Let me see if you can see it in the camera. I think. No, it's not those 2. These 2 right here look to me like they don't have resin in them. It looks like it's the surface of the tape. I'm looking at it in the camera. These are good, but these 2 actually do not have any resin in them. I have no idea what you mean by outdo Kenny's rating. And actually what I was saying was the Samoyed's hair is kinky. Okay, that did not introduce any bubbles. So wonder, Todd, do you ever identify that you're missing resin before you pull the tape? Because it truly looked like I was looking right down to the surface of the tape there. Let's see. I don't know if you guys noticed. Actually, that's what I should do. Well, I did, and when I cured it, I think what happened was I took enough out when getting the bubbles out that I actually, when it cured, it actually shrank down to where there wasn't anything in there. I think what I'm going to do is we're at that happy medium point where I could go on to one more window, or I could end the stream here. And I already know Donnie's vote. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple of the metal ones that I've pulled out already. I pulled them out of the stack for tonight. And what I'm going to do is do the metal ones instead, the metal plates, because they have a lot fewer windows. There it is. I wonder if I can get it without damaging. Got it. There was a hair growing out of that window. And I like it. I like it a lot. I do not see I do not see any micro bubbles at all. You're not fair, Donnie. I still got a... Thanks, Todd. I still got a pack tonight. Ha! There's one. I don't have to do anything to it, but just throw resin in it. Yep, by the time I get done, I will know how not to screw up the windows. And then I'll look at the ones that I screwed up and be like, oh, really? God bless it. Let me see. That one, this one can go back. There you go, Donnie. Yeah, I can do Donnie's windows. Except for Donnie is really far behind on the Enterprise. He hasn't even bought it yet. So, and if you see the blue tape, that just tells me where I found it in the book. And one shows where I found it in the book. The other number shows when it actually gets installed. I'm trying, but not very successfully, to keep the lights with the reflectors. So there's one. Let me put these screws back in here. I gave the money for you to buy it to Eric. You mean he didn't give it to you? What the hell, Eric? Where's Donnie's money? Actually, Donnie, Much as I like this, if I'd have known what I know now 2 years ago, I'm not sure if I'd have bought it. Well, you're going to have to talk to Eric about that, because I sent him the money to send to you. You notice how he's suspiciously absent. Come on. Sometimes the screws don't want to come all the way out on their own. Whoops. I does not know where that one went. Let me... Found it. Dropped it again. Let me stand this other camera back up. There it is. Oh, wow. This one still has the original windows in it. So let me put these screws back in. How many panels left? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ten total left. I'm not doing bridge and deck 2. I think we've had this conversation before. Whoops, that's... Oh, duh. Those are for screws later on. That screw's going to be in the way if I put it in, so is the other one. Ah! I am not taking any more of this ship apart. Already had to do more than I ever should have. Next thing you know, you're going to want me to put Arduino in it and stuff. I even have the bridge over here to look at to see if it's something I would want to do. I'll consider it. Although I did drill a hole in the top of the bridge. I've never done Arduino. Donnie's the Arduino kid around here. Take these out as well. And see, that's the thing, Todd. What else? I have Arduino out there already, Donnie. What else are you building besides the part works there, Todd? Because I constantly have something on the bench. I may at that. Well, isn't that cute? Didn't even realize I grabbed the reciprocal panels. I'm going to go ahead and tape all of these, which means I will do them all tonight. so that I don't end up with one sitting here for a couple of weeks. Do have to say that there is a lot of tape on this roll. I have enough to do. Here comes Donnie's going to make a comment. I have enough to do 2 enterprises. I'm going to do this next one in 2 pieces because I don't want to use a bunch more tape than I need to, and one just isn't going to be wide enough. I knew it. You buy the kit, I'll do the windows, Donnie. Donnie will take 53 tickets in that raffle. I don't like the way this is sitting in one of the windows. Donnie would love a stock build regardless. He'll take it apart and then he'll do the Arduino himself. By the way, Donnie, I am doing three of the metal panels just for you. Okay. I was about to grab this light and start curing I was about to use it to try and find bubbles. I'd have found bubbles that would never come out. There's that one. There's one. There's one there. There's 2 in this one. Come on. We got most of that bubble. Go after this big one and go back. Then I'll go back after those 2 small ones there. Broke the big one into 2 smaller ones. There we go. Nope. I'll wait until I go the other direction for those ones up there. I just looked and I'm actually almost out of frame with this. And my towel has shifted pretty badly. Almost completely missed that end window, but there's nothing, no bubbles in it, fortunately. Now, if I made this like the J.J. Abrams type Enterprise with a light as bright as that one that's underneath it right now, I wouldn't have to pick bubbles, because when I've got it directly, got the light directly under it, I can't see the bubbles. It's the lens flares. Okay. Let me move some stuff so I can actually pull this towel back up. I don't know how or when I actually started pulling it down, but it's most of the way off. Exactly, more lens flares, then I don't have to worry about it. And I realized I keep looking this way as I do the windows, but if I look at what's on the camera, then I can see more what I'm doing. This one doesn't get any screws because this one's a brand new panel. I was about to put the screws back into this panel that they don't belong to. And there they are. I was going to say, I think I lost 2 of the screws, but they were underneath one of the panels. It can shift the fabric of the universe. Yes, it can. Oh, tomorrow's going to be a long day. Do not hurry, because I have a total of 14 windows to go. Almost tempted to make myself another drink, but I don't think I need one. I'm just taking a look at the other Discords right now. All right. One more shot on these. This end one looks funny to me. Almost like there's not any resin in it, but I know I put resin into it. Actually, didn't go back up there to these. Well, I was quick. You literally went and got a bite. So let's see how these came out. Okay. Fill the plate back at your desk. I may have to grab some more noodle salad when I get done. Oh, those are beautiful. Damn it. I got 2 micro bubbles on this one. This one I was concerned about. This one looked like it was empty. So let me show you guys. Thank you. I think they do too. Could almost like do Donnie's windows. Okay. I do like the way this is working out. I will use the SolarRes again for Windows. Maybe on the Voyager. Because I have a buddy build that Eric, Donnie, and I did coming up on 2 years ago now. What pattern? Probably just gonna use whatever Eaglemoss said. Not really, haven't really thought about that yet. Ow, that was bright, right in my eyeball. Oh, and I did find on Facebook today and downloaded, waiting to see if I get a virus, the somebody posted a PDF of printable decals for the yeah, I'm using the stock LEDs. But somebody posted the PDF of not sure, and I'm not sure if it was Mike Lane's or not, but printable decals for the escape hatches. That actually makes sense. They take the JJ out of the Enterprise. And actually, pretty much any pattern of light and dark you decide on would be correct, because you know it's going to change who's in each room, or if anybody's in each room throughout the day. Not going after quite that screen accurate there, Todd. Okay. Ow. I hit the wrong button again. Oh, I did not know that. That's funny. That's really funny that it doesn't match. Of course, nothing surprises me much anymore with Eaglemoss. Last thing is when you're going for Canon, lighted windows or unlighted windows don't make any sense because, like I said, somebody might or might not be home at any particular time. All right. Had a little bit of leakage right here. I got a shiny spot on the surface of the ship. But there we go. You can see it right there. How it's got a little bit of shiny spot. 300, wow. That's pretty cool. That is cool if they got at least part of the windows right. Oh, wait. I need to put 2 screws back in here. It sucked to have to start finding screws to replace these. Okay. Last panel for tonight. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with the overflow. I would rather have the overflow than have more spots that the paint is messed up a little bit. It's funny when the resin hits a certain point, it looks like there's nothing in there. That's why I went back to that one window, because it looked like there was nothing in there, but it was actually full. I appreciate that, Todd, but I don't have any use for them. Exactly. It's what they had on hand. Okay, let's put that over there. Okay. One small bubble right there. One right there. Let me actually pull that one away from this screw. There's one there too. And that's the thing too, is I've found that if I scrape it up, the bubble up on the edge, I can't call it good there, because as the resin shrinks, it pulls the bubble back in. As long as it's not down on the surface, it's okay. It's those ones that get to the surface that suck. I had that out, damn it. Had the bubble out, and then it fell right back in. Come on. Come on. Had to drag bubbles across the back of the panel before the damn thing would pop. Yeah. Well, see, actually, most of these I'm not popping. Most of these, which is why I keep wiping off the dental pick, I'm actually dragging. They're not popping, they're coming out with the resin. That one keeps popping back in there. I see you, little bastard. There, got it. I did not see this one right here. Did not see that one either. Actually, that's not a bubble. That's a little bit of super glue from when I had the windows in. Yep. Exactly. All right. Sorry, guys. It was a long, lazy day today. I believe I do. 5/37. Isn't that the 18-incher? Matter of fact, let me take a look on ScaleMates real quick. Let's see. There's my stash. Really? I do have the 5/37s, but the only 5/37th scale Enterprise that I have is the cutaway. Let me do a real quick search. Ah, okay. The 18-incher is the 650. Have I got the HDA model works? I don't know. I actually don't have those. I don't think HDA Model Works actually makes the decals. It depends on who makes them. I know that my 350 NX01, A Creation made the decals, and they were really good decals. I had a couple of problems with those. Had a couple of problems with one or two decals, that was it, and they were actually wallpaper. The entire model is covered with decals. Come on. Done. Gonna throw it in the washer. And of course, the washer you're talking about is for resin, not the one for your clothes. Put these screws back in. And yeah, if you're ever curious, GB, about what I have in the stash, I keep my scale mates, which is linked in the description, up to date. Everything I have in the stash should be in there. So nice, very nice. Actually, sad as it may sound, the computer screen is actually almost better than my eyes. No, I can see a couple micro bubbles you can't see in it. So that is the last panel for tonight. I've already closed up the resin. Put the tip away. Let me put the screwdrivers in there. And the light. So as I said earlier, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10 panels left to go, which means it should be about another 2 weeks before I start actually doing the rest of them. I do have 10 more, and I can stop now. Sorry, Donnie. I have 10 more, so at the way that it's been averaging, this is next Monday. Actually, we'll split them up. We'll do this one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Monday. Captain's quarters panel. Which one is that? But Monday, next Wednesday, and then I have a whole bunch of unopened issues, like 8 or so. Someday I'm going to set this back. Well, actually, I've looked at my streams from a year ago. I'm going to eventually move this camera back over there, because over there I actually got the best picture. I was thanks, Tom. I love it too. Oh, front center with the long center windows. So this one, eventually. Yeah, thanks, Tom. That stash is actually built up now over the last 9 years. So how many do you have in your stash, Tom? I mean, what am I up to right now? Let's see. 510. That's not bad. And actually, GB puts me to shame, because I think he said he's got like 4,000. So, yeah, like I was saying, 200 going back to 1977. That's not bad. I actually built models back in the 80s, 70s and 80s, and over 2,000. Wow. Yeah. I've got over 510. GB has over 2,000. There are two hobbies involved here. One is collecting, one is building. An old C3PO, I have one somewhere. But I used to build back in the 80s. And then when I joined the Air Force, moving around and everything, and I was never very good at it until after I retired from the Air Force. When I retired, hang on, California, wrong number. Not in California anymore, but was never very good at it. Yeah, I believe it, GB. But I was never really good at it as a kid, and so I quit building while I was in the Air Force. And then when I retired from the Air Force, my wife bought me a Titanic. Matter of fact, where is it? Yeah, it's right up there. I've shown it on the stream. But she bought me a Titanic, and so I built it, and I started playing. I looked it up and saw one that was lit, and so I lit the kit, and I've lit pretty much everything since then. No, I didn't think it was you, Tom. It's solicitors. I actually got good on the Titanic that's up there, and it's not the airbrushing, it's the fact that I'm willing to take my time. It was funny because I would sit there at the handrails, I'd paint them, and I'd get a little bit of brown on the white, and so I'd paint the white again, and I'd, back and forth, and my wife just watched me do that, and she's like, "You're insane." I said, "No, it's details, I like it." And I do some details that they blow me away when I get done, but I still look at them and I'm like, on something. And I'm still learning on airbrushing. I'm getting better. And the big thing is I need to just do it, because when I airbrush, it comes out really great. But I hate the having to clean up, and I've realized I don't have to break it down completely every time I brush. So I'm getting better with it. It's enjoyable. I've picked up some hey, I have minis, Donnie. This model shop has more kits than he has in stock. Yep, I can see that. And it's funny because people were talking on one of the Discord channels about model shops, and I posted a picture of my stash from a year ago and said, "This is my favorite model shop." So I am going to call it a night for tonight. I'm going to call it a night, guys. I've called it a stream. I've got to get up early in the morning and drive 500 miles to go to meetings in Oklahoma City the next 2 days. So Wednesday I don't plan on streaming. I might stream something. Friday with the Stooges, we're definitely on for. We'll be. Thanks, Tom. Todd. Thanks, Donnie. You guys take care out there. Have a great one. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Hug somebody. And remember your vets. Good night, everybody. And like and subscribe. I'll talk to you next time.